Namaskar, everyone. Welcome to our solar eclipse meditation and reading today. I want to thank you all for joining me. As you can see, our community of 40. I hope you can appreciate what that means for the energy and for our togetherness, that we can all come together this way. Hopefully the solar eclipse was not too heavy for you today. Maybe you had a little trouble in some area, but while looking at some of you here who I can see, well, you look like you managed. So that is good. So as usual, before we do any Vedic astrology reading or any work with Vedic astrology, we have to use the traditional mantras. And remember that the mantras have a spiritual power, a subtle power. That's why we use mantras. So it's not really meant to be religious or ritualistic. Rather, it is meant to open a particular spiritual dimension, which I will explain. So the first mantra is the Vedic mantra for the power of Ganesh. But it's not the modern Ganesh that we know. In the mantra, we're actually asking, may the power of all mantra, of all sounds, awaken and come to reside within my heart. So how is it that the power of Ganesh, that power of intelligence, is going to remove obstacles? That power must somehow enter you. It must be within you. That's how it's going to remove obstacles. So that's what the mantra is asking. We open up to the power of the sounds. May these powers reside within me, within my own being. So we're not asking some deity somewhere for help. No, we are aligning to the cosmic power and learning to channel that within us. So let's take a deep breath, clear your mind. I can sense the stress is there in the space. So I need you all to relax. Slowly breathe out. Try to relax and release the heaviness of the day. And when you breathe in, try to strengthen and nourish the body. The body needs the nourishment. The body needs the breath. Let's relax, clear the space. Those of you who are just joining, please, if you can, turn on the camera so that I can have a look at you, so that you can get some of my energy by me looking at you. All right, are we ready? If you wish to chant Om with me, you can. Breathing out and in. Gananam tva ganapatigum havamahe kavim kavinamupamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspata anashrunvanutibisi desadhanam Mahaganapataye namaha. So the next Vedic mantra is to Saraswati, but again it's not the modern Saraswati that we know. In Vedic consideration, Saraswati is the field of all knowledge. So by chanting the mantra for this, we are accessing that power of knowledge. May that knowledge come to reside within us. Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebir Vajanivati Dinama Vitriyavatu Ano Divo Brihatta Parvatada Saraswati Yajatta Gantu Yagyam Havam Devi Judushana Gritachi Shagmam Novacha Mushati Shrinotu Vakdevye Namaha. And now we chant the Gayatri mantra. And the Gayatri mantra starts by saying Om Bhur Bhuva Swa. Bhur is the earth plane, this dimension of matter. Bhuva is the in-between plane of the ancestors. And Swaha represents all the dimensions above that. So what's called the heavenly planes. And even going all the way up to the planes and dimension of the masters. And of course, Gayatri Mantra is asking for illumination of our intellect. May our intellect become purified, that we may see. Om Bhur Bhuvaswa, Om Tat Savitur Varenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Diyo Yona Prachodayat. And now finally, I'm going to chant the mantras for each of the planetary powers, these cosmic powers that we are aligning with in Vedic astrology. Om Sum Suryaya Namaha, Om Som Somaya Namaha, Om Kum Kujaya Namaha, Om Bhum Budhaya Namaha, Om Brahm Brihaspataye Namaha, Om Shum Shukraya Namaha, Om Sham Shanaye Namaha, Om Ram Rahave Namaha, Om Kem Ketave Namaha, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now let's keep the eyes closed. Let's come into our brief meditation. Become skillful in your breathing. Slow exhale and a slow inhale. Slow exhale and relax. Slow inhale and nourish the body. Exhale. And inhale. As you breathe out, release the tensions, release the burdens. And as you breathe in, open up to the higher qualities, the peace, the wisdom, the compassion. And now let's focus along the spinal column. Along the spinal column, there is the central energy channel. In Sanskrit, it's called Sushumna Nadi. On the inhale, we're trying to guide the flow of energy along the channel upwards. On the exhale, we're guiding the flow of energy down the channel. And we seek to balance the inhale and exhale. We seek to balance the upward and downward flow of energy. Slowly in. And slowly out. And as you do this, notice the effect. Some of you will actually begin to feel the flow of energy. And you begin feeling the body is coming into balance. Mind is becoming more steady. That's good. I can feel we're coming into that space. Now let's focus on the abdomen, and we're going to breathe into the abdomen. Allow it to expand. And as you exhale, allow the abdomen to contract. Slow inhale, slow exhale. By breathing into the abdomen, you're beginning to access the chakra, the energy center there. There is vital power there. That's how we recharge the body. So keep breathing there until you start to feel the support of the body. Recharging the body. That's good. Now join me at the heart. You're focusing at that point at the center of the chest. Allow the chest to open, the shoulders to move back. Breathe and expand the lungs. Hold there for a few seconds, and then on the exhale, relax and release. Again, breathe and expand the chest. Exhale and relax and release. We're recharging that heart space, the emotional space. This area can become very depleted from our daily activities, so we're taking the time to recharge. That's good. I can feel the group space is lifting. So you're energizing it. Now let's focus at that point between the eyebrows, what you might know as the third eye point. And you're softly breathing through that point into your head space. And we're bringing the subtle energy, the prana, into that head space. It's refreshing that space. And if you want to bring a little more power, when you inhale through that point, hold the breath there. And then softly exhale to release. Until you start to feel mind is becoming clearer. We're doing very well as a group. I can actually feel the stress has been released. And now we are coming more into the energy space. Now as we've come to that peaceful space, that space where we are all connected, we invite the support, the presence of those enlightened masters, the liberated masters. O Masters of the Light, we seek to be more receptive to your wisdom, to your grace. Please support us as we take another step on our spiritual journey. Please help us to understand and to be guided. And if you have a particular connection to a master, I invite you to bring that into your space. To feel the support of the masters. Now let me invite you to recenter in your heart, focus there, and just bring to your awareness our community, all of us joining together today, and we just send a blessing to each other. May we all be lifted. May we all be held in the light. Just send that blessing to each other. This is how we create a healing energy, a healing group energy, where we are all supported. And in that inner space, we say Namaskar to each other. My soul bows to you. Please honor and respect each other as souls on this spiritual journey. Come into a space of harmony, harmonious coexistence. Come into a space of mutual support, of synergy. That's the opportunity we have together when we join this way. Thank you very much, everyone. Now take a few deep breaths, ground yourself in the body. Strengthen your body. Those of you who know how to, go to the root chakra, strengthen the root chakra. Feel the connection with the earth. Notice the effect on the body, just of these few minutes together. Thank you very much. Now let's all come back. When the moment is right for you, you can gently open the eyes. Thank you very much, everyone. If you would like to, you can just leave me a one-liner or a one word in the chat on how your meditation was, just so I get your feedback and I can be even more connected to you. If you feel inspired to, just leave me a message in the chat. How was your meditation? How are you feeling now? So welcome again, everyone. And just to let you know that I'm here in the studio, but I've put the TV here in front of me so I can see all of your faces. I can see everyone who is there with me. And I want to say how much I appreciate that you're tuning in with me right now. And I hope that you can see how much of us are here together. So isn't that an inspiration that you know that there is a committed community for generating this energy? healing energy, higher consciousness, following the path of wisdom, seeking something better in this world. I want you all to just look at each other and see that you are not alone, that we have the support of each other. Wow, thank you very much. I see peaceful, calming, mind clearing, very settling, clearing the mind space, compassionate, relaxed. Someone is saying effective. Thank you very much. I'm glad it's effective. That means you're able to tune in. Peaceful, feeling the transcendence, uplifting, connected to ease and supported. Thank you very much, everyone. So you can see that it's true. When you have each other's comments here and you can see each other and know the effect, that's how you know the effect is true. That we are all connecting to that inner space, that we are all there together and lifting each other. That's the goal of us coming together for these meditations. So many of you know that every time the eclipses come around, and the eclipses come every 6 months, whenever the eclipses come around, I like to have these meditations and readings so that we can be better prepared. The first thing is that on the solar and lunar eclipse, any spiritual work we do is amplified. It enters deeper within our being. So that period of the solar and lunar eclipse, there's a 2-week period between them, and the days of the eclipse, that period is very good for spiritual process. That's why I insist. I could, of course, just do the reading, but I insist we do meditation as part of it. And then every time the eclipses come around, eclipses signal, they're like milestones. Every time the eclipses come around, it's signaling the finishing of a 6-month period of karma and a setting up again of the stage, life circumstances, for the next karmic lessons that come over the next 6 months. So that's why I do the astrology reading, because I want us to be prepared. I want us to have some sense of what spiritual lessons may begin to appear over the next 6 months, and how do we begin working with this. So you all know, those of you who've been with me for Vedic astrology, you know, I don't care too much for predictions. When people ask me to predict things, of course I could do that. But that's not the real goal of Vedic astrology. The real goal of Vedic astrology is how can we understand and appreciate cosmic alignments? And how do we as souls, as spiritual beings, fit into that? How do we fit into that cosmic alignment? How do we begin working with that? So just like we have weather forecast, so you know tomorrow I'll carry the umbrella. Or a week from now I'm going to plan certain activities based on the weather. Vedic astrology is giving us the opportunity to see there will be certain energetic opportunities. There will be certain spiritual challenges. There will be certain karmic situations and karmic unfolding that as souls we can begin working with. That we can begin using those situations. We can begin navigating those situations. So that we can be more fulfilled as souls here on earth. So that we can appreciate the journey here on earth and make the best use of it. So the goal, of course, is how will we begin using this? How will we begin using the circumstances that unfold for our self-development, for our personal growth? Because karmic stage, karmic circumstances will reveal weaknesses in us. And, of course, along with those weaknesses and challenges, there's the opportunity there for us to transform the weakness, for us to transform the challenge, for us to rise above the situation, for us to develop our spiritual potential, our spiritual strength. That's the goal. So when karma comes to us, we tend to think, we tend to feel, why has this come? Why is this so heavy on me? Why does this have to happen to me? Don't I try to be a good person? Don't I try to do good things? Aren't I doing meditation, Ved? Some of us, aren't we doing the puja? Don't we honor the universe? Don't we honor the divine? Don't we honor God? Why does this have to happen to me? It's not happening to you, although it can sometimes look like that and feel like that. What is it? It's happening for you. It's happening for you as a soul. The circumstances are being created for you, that you can look at it and begin working with it. It's like a jungle gym. We don't really have those so much. When I was a child, they used to have jungle gym. You would have the kids, you carry them to the park. They had one by our very famous pizza place, Mario's, in Chagonas. They had a jungle gym there, and it used to have tons of kids all the time. When the kids go there, what are they doing? They're challenging themselves, right? They have the social experience with other kids, and they have all of these obstacles that they can play with. And when the kids are there in the jungle gym, do they look defeated? No. They're enjoying. Every challenge they're enjoying, and they're working with every challenge to strengthen themselves, to strengthen the body, strengthen the coordination, all kinds of things, isn't it so? So the karmic circumstances that set up for our life, it's basically a jungle gym for the soul. Soul has some obstacles, soul has some opportunities, soul has strengths and weaknesses, and how is the soul going to use this? But always it's to remember, it's for your enjoyment as a soul, not for your suffering. When you are in tune with the soul, when you are deeply centered in yourself, no matter what challenge comes, you will say, oh, let me see how to deal with this. Let me see what I'm going to do with this, how to turn this around. And you will find a thrill in finding spiritual solutions, in developing yourself, and in working to overcome whatever comes into your life and onto your stage. That's the goal as souls. So always remember, karmic circumstances are happening for you. For you, not against you, and not to bring you down in any way. Universe is fully 100% on your side. It's on your side, and you have to put yourself into that mindset instead of being like a victim to the universe. How could you, O soul of divine power, infinite power, connected to the wisdom, connected to infinite and eternal, how could you, O soul, ever be a victim? It's only when you think that you become that. So it's always to see when the circumstances unfold, say to yourself, wow, how am I going to work with this? Let me see what is the next step I need to take. So that's just to reinforce why we use Vedic astrology. Not to think that Vedic astrology is something like destined. Not to think that, and not to have a defeatist consciousness, victim consciousness, that in Vedic astrology the things unfolding is against me. It's not against you. It's happening for you. All right? So the reading I'm doing now, I'm looking at the eclipse positions. And remember, I'm giving a general reading that applies to everyone. But based on your specific birth chart, what we call the Rashi, natal chart, they will have even more specific effects to you. So I am giving the general unfolding of karma that applies to everyone. And then according to your particular birth chart, the moment when you were born, there will be more specific and direct effects to you. But the general reading that I'm giving now applies to everyone. Okay? Good. So, does everybody understand what I've said so far? Just checking in with you that you appreciate what I've said, okay? If you don't understand, please put it in the chat. I do not understand, so that I will explain again. And it's no problem. Good. Thank you very much for the confirmation from some of you there. This is an important thing to understand. You need to know how you're using Vedic astrology as an instrument. If you don't know how to use the instrument, it's useless. Right? If you think, Ved said, I will face so-and-so problems, and then you're not realizing the problems are coming in order for you to overcome it, and you're thinking, no, I have to suffer with these problems, then have I done my job? No. Then I am helping you defeat yourself. And that's not my goal, right? My goal is to help you understand, how do I use what's happening, right? Okay. So I'm just going to call out the positions so you know what they are. And actually at the end of this session, what I'm going to do is, I produced a document, a report with the chart and many of the main points that I'm going to make now. And you can just download the document to review, right? So don't feel too put off that you might miss some details. The critical details I have put in that document for you to make sure that you get it. Right? What I was certain I wanted you to know, I put into there. And I will put a link here for you to download it at the very end of this. Okay. So I'm just going to say the positions, and then I'm going to go into it, right? So at the time of the eclipse started just after 11:30, I think, today. At the time of the eclipse, it was Libra rising. Got it? Libra rising. 1 second, I'm opening it here to make sure I don't tell you the wrong thing. No, not that. Of course, at this very moment, it has disappeared into the computer, right? Okay, got it. So, second house has nothing, that's Scorpio. Third house has nothing, that's Sagittarius. Fourth house has nothing, that's Capricorn. Fifth house, Rahu in Aquarius. So Rahu and Ketu, Rahu in Aquarius, Ketu in Leo in 11th. This is the last eclipse in this position for Rahu and Ketu. Next eclipse, they will not be in Aquarius and Leo. So think about what that means. It means Rahu and Ketu have come to the end of their plan. Do you understand? They've come to the end of the plan on what they're creating in Aquarius and in Leo. And if you go back to the previous readings I did on this, you will understand. Well, I did some of these readings on Rahu and Ketu more than a year ago, right? The end of the plan has come. And actually we're seeing that unfolding now, right? Okay. Saturn in Pisces, and it's a retrograde Saturn. Remember, retrograde Saturn means what? It means we are given a chance to go back over the actions that we have already done and try to correct our mistakes. So while Saturn is retrograde, opportunity for correcting oneself is there. Yes? And Saturn gives the impression of things very much slowing down. It's important to know as well, Saturn in Pisces, Saturn is at the very end of his cycle as well. Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac. And Saturn is coming to the end of that cycle. So there are some very interesting effects that's coming through Saturn in this as well. Aries in the 7th house, empty. Taurus in the 8th house, empty. We have a Mars in Gemini, 9th house. Mars in Gemini, what does that mean? The communication is a little bit aggressive. That happens for everyone. So you know, don't get worked up about how communication may feel a little bit gruff. Right? Don't get worked up about that. Just let it slide. Let it pass. And same for you. You know, just be aware that sometimes you might find yourself speaking a little more harshly than you intended. That Mars energy is there for a little while. Mars and Gemini. And then we have the eclipse action. Ready for it? Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Jupiter in Cancer. And this is in the 10th house at the time. Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Jupiter together. So we have a very interesting eclipse. Sun and Moon, of course, must be there for the solar eclipse. And we have a Mercury and Jupiter, and it's a very powerful Jupiter, exalted Jupiter. Right? Good. And then we have Ketu in Leo, 11th house, and Venus in Virgo, 12th house. Venus in Virgo is a debilitated Virgo. This is a weak Virgo. A weak Venus, sorry. So what does that mean? It means the partnerships, the close relationships, the spouse, the husband, the person you live with in the partnership. It means this is challenged. So for the next 6 months, some of these things will begin unfolding. You will see there is some friction with the partner. There is some weakness there. Do you need to do anything about this? No. No, just be aware. Just be aware that that can happen, that can unfold. Now, for select few, remember I said there's more specific effects for particular people, there will be particular legal challenges. This debilitated Venus in Virgo brings some difficulty in legal issues where it literally the legal proceedings become paralyzed. So you might say, it's not going anywhere, Ved. Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere for a little while because of this Virgo, Venus in Virgo. Right? The reason is because Virgo also represents all challenges, including legal challenges. But my sense of this is, it is much more directed towards legal issues and partnership issues, more than the health issues. Got it? Sometimes this can create the health things. No, this is much more about the partner and the legal thing. For most people, it's going to manifest through the partnership, through the spouse. Right? And this is specifically romantic partner. Right? It is under the effect of both Saturn and Mars. What does that mean? It's literally a cursed period of time. Cursed. The heaviness of Saturn and Mars is there. So you will see some difficulty there. What do you need to do with it? Just allow it. There's nothing to fix. You can't fix it. Do you understand? Don't think it's personal. Don't make it personal. When you see the friction coming, just say, here it is. The goal is not to create more karma, not to get more involved in it, not to create more difficulty for yourself by reacting to the situation. That is the goal. Do you understand? It is a temporary situation. It will pass. It will pass. So don't let that create more negativity in your relationship. In terms of the legal issues, all I can say is that it will be frozen. So if it's frozen, then you have to wait. So when you're getting that information that the legal issues, the legal things you are trying to do is frozen, don't be surprised. Right? When will it resolve? Maybe by the start of next year, it may start to move. But it's not going to resolve fast because the Saturn is on it. Saturn retrograde means it's very, very slow. So only when the Saturn moves direct, then there's some relief, and that's a few months ahead of us. Got it? Good. So that's the extraneous things. Now I'm talking about the eclipse. It's a very interesting eclipse because the Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Jupiter, they end up in a different sign from Ketu. Usually it's where Ketu is positioned, you will have the solar eclipse. But what's happened is Ketu is in a different sign, and Sun and Mercury are on the periphery of its effect. So they actually end up split. That's actually very unusual. So what happens with this, it means the solar eclipse is not as heavy, it's not as tamasic, it's not as dark as it usually is. There is an opportunity there. You see where Ketu is? Ketu is a very difficult energy. Most people cannot manage Ketu. Only the very spiritual people know how to deal with Ketu's energy. So usually the solar eclipse can be very difficult because the energy of Ketu is so strong, it's eclipsing totally our ability. Ketu is headless, so it makes us headless, right? So when the solar eclipse comes, sometimes we feel headless and we don't know how to solve this, how to move ahead. We make all kind of big mistakes. But in this eclipse, it's not so. Because Sun and Moon are away from the Ketu, the eclipse happens, but you're not headless. Isn't that great? So there's a great opportunity there. You won't make the same mistakes that you've made with previous eclipses. There's a little bit more intelligence available to you to work through it. The other saving grace is this eclipse is happening with Jupiter and Mercury, exalted Jupiter and Mercury. This exalted Jupiter means what? There is great wisdom coming. The Mercury there means the speaking, the intelligence, the thinking it through is possible. If the Ketu was with these planets, it would not be possible. It would be much, much harder. So this is a really, really good solar eclipse. Really good. Often solar eclipse is heavily challenging for everyone. In this one, I feel, wow, what a great opportunity for everyone. Because it's not headless. This exalted Jupiter means the main remedy for this eclipse, guess what, is who? Is the Jupiter, is the Guru. So, I'm going to just say the remedy for the eclipse now is the Guru, the guide, the teachers. Spend some time with them. Because it's in Cancer, visit their home. Visit their ashram. Listen to their words. Mercury is there. Listen to their words. Because they have the power to heal and to transform this eclipse into the right possibility. So I'm very happy for all of you joining me today. You're getting the solution right up front. Now, what does the solar eclipse do? Solar eclipse sets up a question. It sets up a problem. It sets up something that requires a solution, looking for a solution. For some people, that may have happened today. Someone has brought something to you today, and you ask, oh, what does this have to do with me? Why has this been brought to me? If you examine things of today, that would have happened. For me, it happened just before this. My sister sent me a message, and I said, oh, interesting. I was not expecting this message. And then I have to ask myself, okay, well, what do I have to do with this? Do you understand? So if you ask that question today, that's it. That's it. There is some problem, there is something seeking a resolution coming to you today. When will the resolution come? It comes with the lunar eclipse. So 2 weeks from now. So between the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, the problem is set up today. For some people, it would have come yesterday, the day before yesterday, Monday, 2 or 3 days. For some people, it will come 2 or 3 days after. But the solar eclipse is setting up this question, this problem, this puzzle, karmic situation. Some kind of circumstance where you ask yourself, what do I do with this? What do I have to do with this? How do I deal with this? What is it I need to do? That will come into your space. And then over the course of the 2 weeks, if you go steadily looking at it, processing it, trying to understand it, then coming to the lunar eclipse, usually there is some resolution by that time. And on the lunar eclipse day or just after, you are able to solve it. And I want you to know, usually it's an emotional solution. Lunar eclipse represents a more emotional process. Solar eclipse represents a more mental process. Are you following so far? So whatever it was that came up for you, well, observe it. You know, even if you can't identify what it is, sit a minute after this session and journal, what happened to me the past few days? And you might realize, oh my God, somebody asked me a question. Somebody asked me to do something for them. Somebody sent me a message. Some issue came at work. Some issue came with a friend. Some issue came through the partner that requires a solution. Over the next 2 weeks, you have the opportunity to work with it. Emotional resolution comes with the lunar eclipse. Do you have a chance to resolve it after that time? No, you don't. You must use this window to try and resolve it. Most people will resolve it easily. Most people will resolve it easily. Why? Because you're not headless this time. Usually with the solar eclipse, you're headless. This time you're not headless. So if you just steadily work on it, it will naturally resolve. Very good. So that's what's happening for the 2 weeks. But I said the eclipses set up the karma for the 6 months. So we need to look at that now. So the eclipse, sun and moon here, solar eclipse where the moon is in front of the sun, this is happening in the constellation, what's called a nakshatra of Ashlesha. Ashlesha is the constellation called the Hydra, the serpent. You say, oh goodness. Could that be good or bad? In this case, it's a very good possibility. Usually Ashlesha, I'm just holding a second because I see the internet is stuck. Right, it's come back. Usually with Ashlesha, there's a lot of challenge and difficulty. Think about the serpent. What happens with the serpent? The serpent coils around you and constricts you. The serpent bites and delivers the venom. Right? So usually there is some experience like this. So over the next 6 months, what happens? There is some entanglement. There is some venom. But Ashlesha represents also the transformation. What does the snake do? The snake sheds its skin. And the snake is renewed when the skin is shed, right? So sun and moon in us represents what? Sun represents the soul. Sun represents the ego or the personality. And moon represents the mind. Moon also represents our feeling nature. So there is some renewal happening there. Isn't that great? There's some kind of renewal happening if you are able to solve this problem of something being entangled or something being venom. Do you understand? So there is some kind of clinging. There is some kind of attachment. There is some kind of poison that will surface in the next 6 months. And if you're able to resolve it, then there is a renewal, the shedding of the skin. The personality is growing, the mind is growing, and even the spiritual power is growing, if you're able to solve it. Now, what's going to happen? If you remember, some of you, in the New Year reading I said, this year the ancestors have set up something that they want for you in this life. This year in particular, the ancestors are constructing or even reconstructing circumstances in your life in the way they want. So is it you constructing it? Or you deciding? No. Ancestors are operating through this year, through the astrology, to create certain circumstances for you. That means this lesson is about what? It's about healing something in the ancestral line. So what is the entanglement? What is the poison coming? It's something that has come through the ancestral line that we have the opportunity to heal and renew. This is coming to a head with the lunar eclipse. So with the lunar eclipse, some of us will get some clues about what is the issue coming through the ancestral line. But for many, it will just be over the course of the next few months, you will start to see, yes, something is coming there through the lineage that has to be healed. I have the opportunity to heal this. How is it healed? It's healed from detaching. The main thing is there is something unhealthy that you are clinging to. There is something that is deeply toxic in life, that there is some kind of clinging. Do you follow? And the only antidote is stop clinging. Stop holding on to that. Don't let that disturb the space. Now, this will come at many different layers. Because it's happening in Cancer, everyone will have some kind of emotional thing with this. So everyone, universally, will have to learn to let go of some toxic emotions that they hold. Right? So that's the most generic or general thing that's coming. But for others, the next step after that, becoming more specific, is it comes through the mother. It comes through the mother. So for those of you where your mother is alive and still in your life, the mother becomes the agent of the karma. Meaning you will observe the mother having some clinging, some attachment, some toxic emotion, some difficulty, something will be there that has to be transformed. Do you understand? For many, many people, if the mother is there, it's going to come through the mother. If the mother is not in the life, then it can also come through a mother figure, someone who you might consider motherly in your life. Right? That might feature instead. If it's not coming through the mother, then it's going to come through the home. Cancer is the home. So it's going to come through something related to your home or house, something related to land, or it could also be related to the vehicle, car. So if there were some land issues ongoing in the family lineage, I guarantee over the next 6 months, the emotional tension and toxicity surrounding that issue is going to become more and more intense to encourage you to let go. Do you understand? If the mother has been a very controlling force in your life, some of us may have very controlling mothers, right? Then I guarantee you're going to see some kind of emotional play is going to come through the mother in the way they're controlling you, and you have to figure out, how am I going to disentangle this? Do you understand? For some people, the vehicle will give difficulties, will give trouble, maybe something happens to the vehicle, the vehicle is damaged in some way. And we have to say, I'm not going to let this emotionally disturb me. I don't need to be attached to this. Right? Are you understanding? Right. So these are the ways in which it may come. So when you see, oh my God, this land issue again, this house issue again, and you're feeling disturbed by it, right there it is. Right it there. We have to learn to detach from that. It's poisoning you. You've entangled yourself in it. Or if it comes through the vehicle, maybe, the car is parked in a parking lot and somebody ram right into it. Right? And in the parking lot, you become very emotional. And then you have to go and get the insurance from the person, right? And then now the insurance is trying to be resolved so that they can fix the car, but then it's not going to get resolved. Then they give you some kind of story, and you feeling more and more emotional and entangled in this car issue. Do you understand? It's going to be something like that. So land, vehicle, or mother. House and home. But in a very general way, it's about an emotional experience. An emotional experience that is toxic if we cling to it, but transformative if we detach from it. Is it clear? So this is the most general way I could describe this. For those of you who have been studying astrology or know a bit about astrology, depending on which house Cancer is in your birth chart, it's where the Cancer is, right? Where the sign of Cancer is, that's where the event or the experience is going to unfold, right? So you can double check it. And of course, when we come to the lunar eclipse, so I will do another reading and meditation like this for the lunar eclipse. When we come to there, I will add on more information that has come through the lunar eclipse for the next 6 months. But just know that all of this is in the ancestors' plan. The ancestors are running this year. They have control of the show this year. Right? The play of the ancestors and what they want is happening. And we're going to see the cumulative end results of this in November. Right? By November, we're going to understand what is all of this happening and what is this about. So I may have to do a reading just before November so that we know, so that we can look at it. Is it clear? All right. So what is the remedies for this? Because we want to know what remedy. Well, the main remedy is don't be so emotional. The main remedy is become more observant of your emotions and learn to detach. Don't get so involved in them. Respect your emotions. It's a good thing. Don't suppress, don't avoid, but don't be so captured. Don't be emotionally hijacked. Train yourself. Begin working to overcome the emotional hijacking that happens. That's the first remedy, the most universal remedy. Second remedy is feed cats. In particular, male cats, if possible. Got it? Third remedy, you can do fasting from onion and garlic. Usually I don't recommend this, but for this one, I feel the Ashlesha is there. The Ashlesha quality is there. And that is aggravated by onion and garlic for sure. So for the 2 weeks, just taking a little break. You don't have to do it constantly. Maybe one meal a day, just don't put the onion and garlic in it. Right? That's easy. Just do one meal a day if you can. Next one is, for those of you who want a spiritual solution, chanting of Guru Gita for sure is the remedy for the next 6 months. And you all know I often do Guru Gita. I think I have a recording of it on YouTube. If I don't, then I'll have to do one so that we have one to listen to. And also doing arti, right? So honoring the power of the masters. This is actually a remedy this time. You know, I usually don't give this kind of remedy, but this is actually a remedy this time. If you do an arti. Arti for the masters, arti for the guru. For the next 6 months, donating funds to an elderly person's pilgrimage. If someone in your social circle wants to take a trip, and the trip is spiritual in nature, donating something. And remember, we may say donating, but wait, I don't have enough money to pay for a trip. That's not what I'm saying. Right? You could say, hey, I heard you're going on a trip. I'm just giving you some money so that you can have a nice dinner when you're on it. Just one day, on me, have a nice dinner. Do you understand? Or I heard you're going to this church, I heard you're going to this temple, I heard you're going to walk the Camino, I heard you're going to Mount Sinai. These are all pilgrimages, right? So just give them a little something. Or if you're generous and you have money, you could even say, can I give you some funds so that you feel more relaxed to go? If you really want to go and you haven't been able to, and you're just short of you're just short of your milestone to be able to go, your budget to be able to go, just giving them some funds to cross the budget so that they feel confident to go. That is a very powerful remedy. Right? But please, of course it must be within your means. Right? What you are able to match, what you are able to do, you can always do something small. Right? You can even say, look, I bought you a camera. I know you don't have an easy camera to use. Look, I bought you a nice camera. Just the old-time snapshot, so you could take a few shots and have it. Look, I bought you an umbrella for your trip. Look, I bought you new shoes for your trip. It can be like that. Understand? So in some ways, supporting their pilgrimage. Right. For the next 6 months. The next one is providing medicine for children in need. So I would assume there's some organizations that do this. Yeah? If you see this arise in your field, meaning in your stage, I urge you to act on it immediately. Meaning, let's say you heard your niece or nephew is coughing. Immediately go and buy the cough syrup for them and give it to them. Do you understand? Of course, you could use some organization, meaning you give donation to some non-profit or something, but it is going to be far more powerful if it has risen around you and you act on it immediately. Do you understand? Or, you know, your brother or sister said, oh, my son has been feeling unwell for the past few days. Then say, oh, you want me to take him to the doctor? So that you will go and pay. So you will go and pay for the service of taking them to the doctor. So that they get the medicine that they need. Right? And of course, it could be friends, children, well, however it is. I don't know. However it may arise. But if you see it arise, be alert. Be alert that it has come onto your stage and immediately seize the opportunity to do it. Do you follow? Yeah. Of course, if you have your own children, do it instantly, don't wait. Okay? Good. Right. Good. And the main remedy I was saying is, and this one is, and it's powerful for the next 6 months, but in particular during this 2-week period of the eclipse, it is very, very powerful. Visiting the Guru's house, which could also mean visiting an ashram. listening to the Guru's words or the Guru's guidance, because likely the Guru's guidance is going to solve the issue for you immediately. Something about the energy of them. And donating or supporting to the Guru. In particular, it has tremendous power right now for this solar eclipse because Jupiter is exalted with the eclipse. So this exalted Jupiter is there. So the minute you enter the field of the Guru, the field of the Master, something like this, that Guru power immediately enters into you. The wisdom immediately comes to you to solve the issues. Right? Very good. So the last thing I will say now is, with this eclipse, solar eclipse, like I say, it's a very spiritual opportunity for those of you who are on the spiritual path. Ashlesha, at its deepest level, also represents power of Kundalini. And you all know that my lineage is the Kundalini Mahayoga lineage, which is about Kundalini. So, the Ashlesha here in this eclipse is signaling for those of you who have an interest in this topic of Kundalini, in spiritual awakening, energy awakening, the next 6 months is when it can happen for you. Those of you who are already on that path, well, it becomes much stronger and deeper. It's a big shift because of this Ashlesha and exalted Jupiter. The energy awakening that your ancestors have planned as part of your spiritual process is now coming to you. And in November, some of you will have the opportunity to experience that power. That's when it's coming. November is the biggest shift, but of course it's over 6 months, right? So, well, Kundalini is, you could say, is my work. So I will be doing a lot more things about this, knowing that this is the period that we're in. All right, so I think that's as much as I want to say for this reading. I will add more to this at the lunar eclipse, right? I will add on what the lunar eclipse is going to contribute to the next 6 months. And hopefully some of you will have had some emotional resolutions by that time and a little more clues there. So what I would like to do at this moment is I'm going to stop the recording. I want to thank you all, all of you who are here listening, and those of you who might be watching the recording, thank you very much. Just to note that I do have the document that I'm going to send to you all. I'm going to post a link so you can download it. So those of you watching the recording, don't miss the link. I will post it somewhere there that you can download it as well. Just so you can review the notes and see the possibilities, okay? So now I'm going to end the recording and I'm going to leave a space for questions here if anybody would like to ask anything. Thank you very much, everyone.
Recording stopped.